If you have unmanaged or undiagnosed ADD, like I did, it can wreak havoc on your career, your relationships, your health, and your self-confidence. In this video, I'll share with you where I went from at 18 years old, having gotten into Harvard, to basically a 15-year nosedive, resulting at age 32 of me being broke, divorced, and making barely above minimum wage, and how I climbed out of that entire thing, rebuilt my career to work with some of the biggest companies, to happily remarried, and most importantly, feeling confident and capable in myself. So with that, let's get to it. I'm going to share with you in this video 5 strategies that I used to go from the low point of my life at 32 to a successful and thriving career and to a life that I love. Stick around to the end and I will tell you how I applied each of these 5 strategies. Strategy number 1, you need to realize that you are not lazy and incompetent. I know that some of your behavior to date has appeared that way, but that was because you didn't have the understanding of ADD being involved. Why is that so important? Because while in the old days they thought ADD was a behavioral disorder, neuroscience research over the last few years has discovered that it's actually our brain structures are different. It's a neurological difference. And when you understand that, you understand why some of the lazy behaviors have showed up, and also importantly, what you can do about it, because ADD is eminently treatable. Once you know it, you can start to apply ADD-specific strategies that are the equivalent of putting on glasses if you've never seen before. And all of a sudden being like, whoa, this is what life looks like. And, I'm kind of capable. I didn't realize this. Number 2 strategy, decide to be 100% responsible for your life. There's a quote by Jack Canfield that I'm gonna read here. If you wanna be 100% successful, you have to take 100% responsibility for everything that you experience in your life, including your level of achievements, the results you produce, the quality of your relationships, the state of your health and physical fitness, your income, your debts, your feelings, everything. Wow. That's a lot. Let me give you an analogy that I think will really help you see the power of taking this mindset. So let's say I gave you 2 options of a phone. One is a phone where you never have to manage the phone at all. You don't have to do any updates or anything, but your parents pick the apps that go on the phone and you have no power to adjust them. Would you rather have that or a phone where you have to manage all the updates and everything, but you have the power to change the apps and delete and add things to your liking? It's pretty obvious you would choose that second phone. Well, that's like when you take 100% responsibility for your life. You're the only one that can go fix your life. And when you take 100% responsibility, the aliveness that you get and the energy make doing the extra work that you have to do so much easier that it's net easier to take 100% responsibility. Step 3, start rolling up your success snowball. I like the image of a success snowball because if you take a small snowball on wet snow and you start rolling it down a hill, it'll pick up speed and it'll just pick up snow on its own. Small changes lead to big results. Another great way to think about that is in Darren Hardy's New York Times best-selling book, The Compound Effect. He talks about the magic penny and he says, would you rather have a penny that doubles in value every day for 31 days or the $3 million right now? Which one would you rather have? The answer to the question is you want the magic penny. Why? Because small changes lead to big results. It doesn't look like there's anything happening until really you're still losing the bet at day 29. It's really only when the effects start to build up over time. You don't need to get $10 million tomorrow. You just need to do one thing better than today. And so what is that for you? Is it waking up a little bit earlier? Is it going for a 5-minute walk? Just something small. It'll seem insignificant to you. And as the quote goes, it's simple to do, but it's also simple not to do. And when you do it, you start to grow your success snowball. Strategy number 4, you gotta get into an environment where you can practice new skills. If you're really weak in, say, organization or in following through on things, get into an environment where you can do those things and practice them without the pressure of, oh my God, I'm gonna get fired. So jobs are great training grounds. It could also be a volunteer org, or it could be like a self-help group where it could be a ADD group, it could just be a seminar and then you get put together with a group, but a group where you're gonna have an environment where people bring forth the best in you. And what this does is it lets you build small wins. Being in this environment gives you structure and it gives you peers who can be a positive influence on you. Strategy number 5, get some support. Staying on track with new goals is one of the challenges of the ADD brain. And this is due to, at a high level, impairment in our reward system in our brain, distractibility, and often working memory deficits, which is sort of like our RAM in our heads. To get around some of these, external support almost essential. So for neurotypical non-ADD folks, it's a nice to have. Sure, I could get some support and maybe some coaching. For us, we need that support and that scaffolding and that structure. And we also need to borrow their brain a little bit because they provide that second brain for us. So bonus, now, here's my story. After I got into Harvard at 18, everything plummeted. I was on the 6-year graduating plan, failed out of my first 6 jobs and businesses. My relationship went to shit, couldn't manage my life, whole thing blew up. So what are some of the things I did that really turned things around for me? So I enrolled in a self-help program. There are lots of great self-help programs out there. For me, it happened to be the Landmark Forum and their follow-up group coaching programs. They really hammered home for me a few things that I really needed to learn and develop. Take 100% responsibility, do what I say, so my word is my bond, and to give up being a victim and blaming the past. You don't even need a self-help program. You can get that through a lot of religious groups, therapy, a strong mentor, and so on. 2 is I found an environment where I could practice these new skills without the risk of fatal consequences. Now for me, I leveraged Landmark again. They have basically volunteer programs where you get to assist on their programs and you get to set them up and run them. In exchange, you're getting experience running projects and being responsible, and you get coaching from the other volunteers that are more senior and experienced than you. That gave me a lot of confidence and success in a safe environment where I got to build up some wins and really start rolling my success snowball forward, where I started to believe in myself. 3, so I got a 30-hour-a-week job, and so this was a job paying barely above minimum wage. And my boss was super strict, but for me, that was such a great thing. I literally had to update her every single hour with my progress. For me, having that level of structure, really short goals, it helped me build my confidence in, if I say I'm gonna do something, I can get it done. And I got coaching when I missed it. That really helped. And a job can be a great environment. It could be any job where you have some structure and some coaching. If you're climbing out of the hole, it's gonna be super helpful. Even if it's working at McDonald's, just go for it. And lastly, I took 100% responsibility for my life. Let me caveat this with saying it wasn't entirely my choice. Getting divorced meant I had to go out on my own at 32. I moved in to a house with 4 other roommates. I had to share a room and a bed with another dude. We put like a little divider up, and that was all I could afford, and that was where I had to rebuild my life. But having the security of these other things that had been in my life gone, I then was in the position where I could really take 100% responsibility. So that's my story. So I want to hear from you in the comments. Are there any strategies that you've tried that have been effective? Or is there a strategy you heard in here that really resonates with you that you really want to try? I'd love to hear from you, and I'll respond to your comments as well. Thanks for being part of this community, and I'll see you in the next video.